smart decision maker, being able to give directives and guidelines, but not doing it for them. You know, what's the point of being a leader or supervisor where you're telling, I need you to do this, this, and this, move out the way, let me show you how to do it. And you see that a lot of that in the oil field as well. These supervisors tell them, oh, come on, get that drill bit in there, I need you to spin that tool. Look, let me show you how to do it, move out the way. And when he steps out of the supervisor role with hands on, who's leading?
But isn't that one of the abilities of being a good leader? You're able to show someone who you don't know and show them the way?
You can
Step
show
back,
them,
I
but
mean-
you don't do the work for them.
Right.
Like teaching their son.
You're paid to lead, you're paid to be a supervisor, you're not paid to do the work.
Just like helping your
Right.
child with their homework.
Plan and help your team be effective at their planning process. Planning is a tough task. The bigger the scale, the harder it is to plan. The key here is the plan for achieving success by empowering people to develop creative solutions. Remember what you guys did over here? I gave you a set of instructions. You read through those instructions to create the solutions that was gonna work for the team. And that's what I went back to what Chris was saying when Danielle was saying, like, oh no, we gotta do it. It's like, wait, no, we gotta plan this thing, we gotta strategize this thing. And so when we look at leadership.
Get her done.
So those, you know, we look at common strengths. We can come up with 1,000 things of common weaknesses, but that's irrelevant. If we can get a person to see his strengths as a leader, he's gonna wanna mirror that every time he goes and leads people, be around people. I mean, we all wanna put our chests out and say, hey, we're good at something. So being able to know that leadership is driven by our successes. Engagement is about teamwork, just getting people involved. And being able to motivate, as a leader, motivating your team to get involved. And basically, there's 3 areas that we look at it from. It's best practices, it's being able to use the best practices in the craft and tracking everything we talked about with those, the observation cards, the 4-point check cards, the job safety analysis. There's another tool, the site safety auditing, where the supervisor goes around and audits his crew's working, pulls them aside and gives little lessons learned. Hey guys, I saw you working there for about 5 minutes. These are some of the things, I have a checklist of what I was looking for. Can we address these and make some little cleanups here and do that, housekeeping, whatever the case may be. And as I said, that living the value storyboard. But using these best practice tools to help people recognize and communicate and be effective. Cross-functional teams. Think about how people get trained. They go through orientation, okay? And then they go to their job and they assign someone to be their supervisor, their mentor. Well, why not find out who the high performance teams are in the company and say, okay, let's get this guy, he has a good personality, he's effective at what he does. Let's get him to come over here and put him in a special program to mentor the new hires so that they're being mentored from the best of the best. Safety advisors, coaching that site. This is what we just talked about next door about branching into this business as well as safety coaches. The site safety representative going on the site and coaching the supervisor to operate effectively. So just recommended best practices. We talk about sustainability, you know, being able to sustain it. And once we have a safety culture that is effective, we have to keep it in place. And that's kind of what a lot of the companies are not realizing now, is that we're going through this audit process, how we're gonna keep it at that level. And that's another area we're gonna try to dive into, is I'm gonna create a whole sustainability program around SIMS. So in order to sustain, we use all of our leadership skill tools as the value, the commitment statements, the 4-point check audits, leading by example, promoting and supporting our drive as supervisors to manage our people, applying feedback and cultural integration, and basically working, getting people, you got multiple languages. So making sure that what you have in English, the Hispanic population or whomever is the cultural difference populations are understand. You're not just teaching them to one mass and leaving another group out, but being able to communicate your leadership, and everything I just talked about is your management systems. So we gotta look at, why do people build walls? What's behind that wall? How a wall is between management and the workforce, the impact of the wall, and what is it gonna take to tear that wall down. So there's a lot of factors involved in maintaining a safety culture and keeping it effective. And I just listed specific reasons why. We just talked about it. One of the most impacting is, right here, is what will it take to tear it down. It's gonna take trust. It's gonna take open communication. it's gonna take some honesty. People are gonna have to have some honest conversations with each other. You know, on the work crews, it's like, look, man, every time we have to work and you're rushing me, this doesn't help my efficiency, my safety. And so, you know, those kind of things have to occur in order for the overall process to work. So each one of those bricks represents a component of what that safety culture is made of. Like, if we look at some of the things that a poor safety culture has, from no training, lack of trust, lack of motivation, low pay, no incentives, we can go on and on and on and have people, and what I do in the training is have people identify their own barriers that they have in their culture. But we got all these bricks here, and if we had a stack of bricks, we can just push them, knock them down, right? So the question is what's the mortar that's holding all these bricks together? And if we think, what is keeping this poor safety culture going for this period of time? We could be living in a dependency culture where they tell me I'll do it, And we talked about that with the dependency. We could be living in a blame culture. You know, well, it's not my fault, it's the management. Management says it's not our fault, it's the guys, the poor quality of people we have. It could be an opportunistic injury culture. That's what we talked about, man. I got an opportunity to get hurt here and collect a pension, collect a paycheck, workman's comp. So it's not about the bricks, it's about what's holding it together. And that's what we have to look at, is changing the culture where we know it exists. If we eliminate this, we can crumble this down, okay?